Hello, I am Professor Rios. This is an electrical class where we not only teach students the subject matter, but I also encourage my students to bring real life problems from their job so we can solve them here. My student is Mr. Mejias. Mr. Mejias is going to explain to us what is the problem that they had in the pharmaceutical company and what we did in the class. Go ahead, please.
Hi. Hi, my name is Luis Mejia. But the problem what I have here, we calling this a vertical pore packaging filler. It's like similar like this machine we have here. The problem what we have is this sensor on the machine wasn't get a signal to tell it to fill the product all the way to the tank here. The level controller is this machine, this little things here, doesn't work properly. For a couple of days we had a lot of troubleshooting this because it's a main part for the kind of job I do. We have those green lights here and red lights here, like it doesn't come up when I bring the machine here. Doesn't work for nothing. Then professor find out we have a issue problem on the radiator,
Voltage regulator.
voltage regulator. And the fact we change it, we find it, we change it, we adapt a biggest one to the car. After we check everything starts to work normally. For example, we got it here. Green light means when this tank needs to be filled. When the product starts to coming from this part to this part to the tank to be filled, then coming with the red light here, that means stop. Motor gotta be stop for filling. As soon as the lever sensor problem is here, telling I'm full, he stop to fill. As soon as the green light coming out again, both motor 1 and motor 2, they start to fill the product up, all the way up top to the tank.
Can you tell me what kind of problem do you guys have? Was the service manual available? What?
This machine
what
comes
was
from
this
India.
process?
This machine comes from India. We don't have nothing on the machine except this.
Submit to the.
That means nothing. Those are the connection on this cable on the back of this box. We don't have nothing else to tell them what kind of problem we have on the professor. Help me to figure out what is the problem and show me little step by step how to supposed to be followed to find out the real problem on this.
Okay. What happens in the electrical world is that one of the best skills that any electrician can have is to know troubleshooting skills. If you have troubleshooting skills, you can solve any problem, okay? And how do you develop troubleshooting skills? You need to get your hands on anything that is broken and try to fix it, okay? Following a step-by-step procedure. I have been in situations, for example, I went to the Kingdom of Morocco to repair some medical equipment, and the ambassador of Morocco in New York promised me that I was going to have service manuals and power supply for his medical equipment. When I arrived to the palace in Rabat, there was no power supply, there was no service manuals. When I called the ambassador in New York, Ambassador JD, can you please tell me what is the power supply and the service manual? Mr. Rios, I am sorry, but it's impossible. Call the company in California because we were not able to ship that to you. When I called the company in California, they told me, Mr. Rios, do what you can. I'm already there. Imagine. The problem was that Health Watch purchased Cambridge Medical. Half of the technicians knew that they were going to be fired, and they disappear the service manual and power supplies and everything. Okay? So, and here is the situation what I had. Okay? If I had the electronic skill, I had the electronic skills to in 3 days find out what was wrong with this with no service manual and no power supply, which is the easiest way to do it. In this case, he just told us that this equipment is from India. They have no manuals, they have no information, and as a matter of fact, the chip on the board are erased. The names are erased. So if you ever want to fix it, you cannot. You have to rely on the manufacturer. So since I had never seen this piece of equipment before, I asked him, can you please tell me how this works? And he did this drawing on the board and explained to me that this is a sensor that senses when the product is low, and when it gets low, these two motors start working to fill the tank. Okay? So I know there is a signal here that works together with this. Okay? In any electronic equipment, you always have to have a power supply and a rectifier to convert, for the thing to work. Okay? In this case, we had, this is actually fed with 220 volts. We don't have 220 volts here. So what do we do? I noticed that this transformer, the primary is 230 volts, but the secondary is 23 volts AC, which is what actually feeds the circuit. I realized that we have this board that has an output of 24 volts, and I said, okay, we can feed this AC into the secondary of the transformer, and we can check all this. So what we did, we connected this like it is connected right now, the 24 volts to the secondary of the transformer, and in the primary of the transformer, we had 230 volts. So we know for a fact that the transformer works, okay? I follow the circuit, and that AC goes into the board where I notice there are 4 diodes, okay? There are 4 diodes. 4 diodes is a bridge rectifier. What is the, what I notice in the board is that you have the 2 lines where you have the AC voltage going into the board, okay? That AC voltage have to be converted into DC. Usually how is that converted? So you get the secondary of the transformer, that's the primary, okay? The secondary, here you have 230 volts, and here you have 24 volts. Since we did not have 24 volts, what we did, we used our panel and we fed 24 volts to these 2 lines. Once we did it, we found out that we have 230 on the other side of the transformer. That means the transformer is working. And after this, what we have is a bridge rectifier. A bridge rectifier is something like this, okay, that allows us to convert AC to DC, okay? So this goes here, and this goes here, and this is my negative. So after I measure the 24 volts, I proceeded to measure at the output of the bridge rectifier, which is already DC. It was in the order of 34 volts. Now, after this, we have a regulator, okay? We have a regulator where the output is 24 volts. How did I figure out that it was 24 volts? Because the relay says 24 volts, okay? So we located in the market a regulator that is 24 volts. This goes to ground, this goes to the input, and this goes to the output. Before we did anything, we proceeded to measure the voltage at the output of the regulator that they had. And it was 1.7 volts. So we knew something was wrong. This regulator was bad. So we went ahead and replaced the regulator, and here is the unit working, okay? Those are simple troubleshooting techniques and steps that you need to follow. Now, let me point out, there are occasions where you cannot find the original replacement, and you need to adapt it. In this case, the regulator, it was like this, okay? This goes to ground, this goes to the input, okay? And this goes to the output. The one that we found, these 2 legs are inverted, And that's what we did. We didn't mount, and this is a lot bigger than the original one. But we adapted the unit, and the unit is working. Okay? Troubleshooting is the key for you to be a great electrician. Don't misuse any opportunity that you have to fix anything. Okay? You have to be daring. You don't know, how do I do that? You know how to measure continuity, you know how to measure voltage, you know how to measure resistance, and with doing those three measurements, you can fix anything you want. Okay? Thank you.